Hey y'all, welcome back to an episode of Rundown. I'm your host, Zach Moore. We're back to cover another episode of NASCAR content and news. We got 3 topics to cover today, the ones I found the most interest in. So let's rock and roll. First thing, Fox got a 3.3 million viewers for this past weekend's NASCAR Cup Series race at COTA, also known as Circuit of the Americas. It was up 6% from last year's 3.1 million viewers. Overall, the race wasn't the most exciting. We only had 2 cautions, which were for these stage breaks because they brought back stage breaks, stage cautions. It's NASCAR's 5th increase for the series this year. I believe every race so far, besides the Daytona 500, has been an increase from last year's. Because the Daytona 500 was pushed to a Monday, so that's probably why. But it's great to see the viewerships, and it's great to see what NASCAR is doing. We'll see, usually when you have a not as exciting race, the viewerships for the next week won't be as good. And the thing is, the road courses, I don't know how they're going to go this year when it comes to overall the racing product. I think NASCAR needs to figure out something. They got to figure out this tire. I don't think there wasn't as much fall off in this race. We need to figure something else out because the speeds were so tight. Tires didn't make a difference. Drivers aren't making as big of mistakes. There's so much more runoff now. So I think there's things that NASCAR needs to take into account when it comes to the future, road course races. Because the reason we have so many road course races was because of how great the racing was in the Gen 6 era. Well, now, the racing and I guess the finishes haven't been as exciting. I think NASCAR needs to figure that out. I know they have a lot of plans to go international, and most of the time when they're going international, they want to race in the road course. And I don't know if that's going to put on the best show in really NASCAR's Oval Series. So I don't think going international for road racing will be the best example of what NASCAR can produce when it comes to good racing and good entertainment. But overall, it's a great week for viewership for NASCAR and NASCAR Cup Series. Next thing I want to talk about is Adam Stern from Sports Business Journal came out with an article. Pretty much, it was a 2011 based article about different stuff, news, analytics, stats about their fan base. Denny Hamlin's thoughts on, their team growing and also hopefully trying to grow the sport in NASCAR. A lot of different stuff. Some interesting ones. DoorDash has actually left. It's no longer a part of 2011. Also, it's no longer a part of NASCAR. So, definitely stinks to lose what I would consider was a very big-time sponsor. DoorDash is a big-time brand, company that I think was a really big deal for NASCAR. They had commercials that were dedicated towards NASCAR, but it seems like maybe DoorDash just doesn't really see much success. Wasn't maybe getting the profit or things they were expecting, so that stinks. Another thing was Denny Hamlin wants to sell Nike Jordan brand merch exclusively at their new shop called Airspeed that fans can buy. So that was one thing I thought was cool. But the big thing out of this article was that about Denny Hamlin, the possibility of him racing for his own team. And pretty much what Denny Hamlin said to Sports Business Journal was that he plans to race for their team, but he doesn't know if it'll be on a part-time basis or a full-time basis. Denny Hamlin's around 42, 43 years old. I know he signed a new contract with Joe Gibbs Racing. I don't know if it's a 1 or 2 year. I assume it's a multi-year deal, so at least say 2 years. And who knows how long he'll race. It's going to be up to him. In his latest podcast, he talks about how he's in a lot of pain after races. He just had a shoulder surgery, so he's still recovering from that. He's older. He's been in the sport a long time. So there's a lot of things that could definitely injury and just fatigue on his body could affect him from retiring early or not. But also it comes to his race team. He had a 5-year plan to hopefully be championship level, and I think 2011 is well on their way. I think they could win a championship. I think, their top guy is Tyler Reddick. Bubba Wallace is slowly but steadily improving every year. He won't win this last year, but I see a lot of potential in Bubba this year that he definitely easily make the playoffs and hopefully win multiple races and maybe, challenge for around an 8 spot for Bubba. But also I feel like Tyler Reddick could easily challenge. He was around it last year and missed out on the Final Four, but I think Tyler Reddick is more than capable and their team's more than capable. And that's kind of what Denny Hamlin kind of states in this quote. I'm slowly but surely starting to believe that 2311 is equal to the position I'm in right now. He said there is that he believes that he and his team, 2311, is just as equal as he would be in a Joe Gibbs Racing prepared car. If I would say, I think he is close. I think he's right. The cars are literally the same. They have an alliance with JGR. Now, if Denny Hamlin were to leave Joe Gibbs Racing to go to his team, would Joe Gibbs Racing still give his team the same support when they still have that alliance with him? Also, you got to think about Denny Hamlin's pit crew. He has one of the top pit crews for Toyota right now. A top 4 Joe Gibbs Racing pit crew, and they're very, very good. 2311, their biggest struggle is their pit crew. They're not getting the top guys. In their first couple of years, they were getting, the 5th, 6th best team from Joe Gibbs Racing. Well, now they switch, and now they go out there and hire their own guys. So I think if Denny Hamlin were to go full-time, he would want to have a pit crew that was going to be able to produce at the same level as he had at Joe Gibbs Racing. So I think those are true words, but also there's a lot of things that would play out. Like I said, would Joe Gibbs Racing still give 2311 that alliance if Denny Hamlin left the team? And would he still have that same pit crew? Would that pit crew like Denny Hamlin so much? Maybe Denny Hamlin would go and pay some of the top pit crew guys in Joe Gibbs Racing to come to his team. I don't think that's probably a little too extreme. But that would be the interesting thing. That would be the only thing I would say. Because I think, who wouldn't? That would be cool if Denny Hamlin would race for his own team. I think that would be something. I think that would be a big accomplishment for Denny Hamlin by, hey, I went out here and won with my team. That's something that Brad Keselowski is trying to do. And that's something that Tony Stewart won a race in his own team, but then also won a freaking championship with his own team. So I think this will definitely be something interesting. I think he'll stay with Joe Gibbs Racing for the rest of his career and then go part-time. But also, we got to look at charters, too. That's the last thing I forgot. But charters. Are they going to be able to get a charter? With the new TV deal and the new charter agreement, will NASCAR open up a couple new charters and you pay a small price, a couple million? Who knows? So there's a lot of things I think that have to be figured out before Denny Hamlin would ever make that decision to leave Joe Gibbs Racing for his own team, to race for his own team, because he wants to still be the same competitive. But that would definitely be something. That's going to definitely be something interesting to follow as we, maybe get closer down the years and when Denny Hamlin's next contract comes up on Joe Gibbs Racing. Last thing I want to talk about is a potential maybe partnership between IndyCar and NASCAR. This has to do with Long Beach Street Course, which is run by the IndyCar Series. It's been running, I think, since I was looking at 1984. I know it's the opener. It's been in the opener for the IndyCar Series for a very long time. Well, as NASCAR has been they plan to have a race in the Southern California area. Our club will be ready for the 2025 season. It'll probably be maybe 2026. Who knows? They're still, I guess, tearing down our club right now. Also, Dodger Stadium has been up and coming thought of building a little racetrack in there to have a race, because Steve Phelps in an interview did say that us NASCAR fans and media people can expect to see a race in that area for the 2025 season. The reason I bring all this stuff up is multiple sources have told Racer that NASCAR has been actively pursuing the 50% stake in Long Beach race, a stable on the IndyCar calendar since 1984 that became available for equations last year by the estate of the late businessman Kevin Kalkoven. So Kevin Kalkoven, he was a businessman. He passed away in 2022, and after he passed away, his percentage, half the percentage of that race, became up for sale. And I guess no one has bought that percentage of the race. And, as NASCAR is looking to have a race in that area, it looks like for many, many months, this article also states, NASCAR has been looking to be able to buy that portion. It's also a street course, which NASCAR likes to get in this street course racing type stuff. I wouldn't mind them doing this. If they have a partnership with IndyCar with this, which I believe somewhat IndyCar owns the other half of this part of this race, I think this would be cool. You could maybe see an IndyCar NASCAR doubleheader. It would be a must-get ticket, and it could help maybe both series make money. It could help boost IndyCar up, also as help boost NASCAR up in that California area, which is really a big deal to NASCAR, which I stated, and also what Ben Kennedy stated in this article. I assume the reason they would do it is to own part of the track, on this race and have the ability to maybe make decisions and bring their own series over. Because unless I don't think that place, Long Beach, is going to shut down twice a year to have 2 different races. I think it would be a lot for the city, the area. I think they would really make it to where NASCAR and IndyCar race in the same area. But it looks like IndyCar and from Penske Entertainment is not a fan of this. In an article, it says that IndyCar is trying to throw out NASCAR's move by putting a bid of their own into the Cal Coven share. I'm not sure why IndyCar wouldn't want to have NASCAR come in. I think this would be a great opportunity. Now, I understand that maybe the reason is that IndyCar wants to make the Long Beach Grand Prix a IndyCar only. They make it special for IndyCar. They open their season up there. They don't want NASCAR to come in and steal the spotlight because, I guess NASCAR is the bigger motorsports in America. Maybe they don't want to get overshadowed by NASCAR because what we got to think about, when NASCAR went to the Indy road course, IndyCar was on a Saturday at 12 o'clock. And then after that, it was the Xfinity Series after them. So even the Xfinity Series overshadowed IndyCar. So I don't think IndyCar wants to have just NASCAR boy them around and have every doubleheader, NASCAR at the top. So, which that would make sense. I just think, why wouldn't you not want to have NASCAR in there? I just don't know why you wouldn't want to have NASCAR. I'm telling you, I said it again, but a NASCAR IndyCar doubleheader would be huge. You could get a lot more fans, and you could really build that event. You could have people travel from maybe outside the state to come to that event to see 2 of the top American motorsports compete and to put on good racing. I think you could get a lot of international drivers too. Like NASCAR could get some more international drivers. I think it would be a big event, huge event. You could maybe they push the Long Beach Grand Prix later in the season, like where NBC then would become the main televised. It could be huge. I think this could be a huge event, but maybe it just looks like that Penske Entertainment and IndyCar do not want NASCAR a part of their event or their race weekend at Long Beach, which I guess I understand. But we'll see. This is just like another addition on what NASCAR is trying to do, which is trying to get a race in the Southern California area. We'll see. It'll definitely be an interesting storyline to follow to see if NASCAR does buy this share or someone else does, or IndyCar buys the share itself. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Let me know what you think about everything I talked about. Denny Hamlin racing for his own team sooner rather than later. IndyCar versus NASCAR. NASCAR trying to buy a share of this race. IndyCar doesn't want them to. What do you think about that? Besides that, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.